So I've always wanted to be a food inventor when I was growing up. I didn't know that food science existed. I just knew that I like to cook and I like to invent things. So I used to make all sorts of weird things.
I remember having an interview as an internship when I came to work here, and I walked out of the interview not only with a candy bar, which was pretty cool at the time, but also with the feeling of, wow, this is amazing what you can do with this field.
Biochemistry was interesting, but food is so practical. You could, pick anything up out of the supermarket and you can pretty much dissect it from the ingredient line or the nutrition facts. That's why this particular career, I think, is really fun.
Confectionery, I can at least eat the product and share it with my friends. Nuclear power, not so much.
Introduction for me was Alton Brown, Good Eats. Everybody knows him, everybody loves him.
I went for a position and wound up, they hired me, and next thing I knew I was making bubble gum and hard candies instead of working on the pharmaceutical end.
Sometimes you fall into it, sometimes you program it, and I'm one of those guys that just, feels good, and you have fun, and you're in too long and too deep to get out and into anything else.
I thought I wanted to be an architect, and was going to school as an architect major, and found a part-time position while I was in school as a lab technician.
Started getting involved in working around the labs and became more curious about what they were doing, and so I was invited to become more involved in what was going on in the lab, and that sucked me in, and I've been with my company ever since.
I knew some people in the Institute of Food Technology who let me know about this job and fell into confectionery science and probably will never leave. It's an awesome industry.
I act as the liaison between our customers and the various groups in our manufacturing facility.
I am a senior research scientist.
As an applications technologist, I work on everything from chewing gum to chocolate. I work specifically with confections.
I am Senior Manager of Chocolate Excellence.
I'm in charge of the machine shop here. It's kind of a development machine shop for global operations.
I'm the manager of process improvement team.
Part of my job requires me to come up with formulas for new confections, and part of that research is also investigating different sources of ingredients, different types of ingredients.
So I literally went from being a very just basic technical position up to VP of Sales and Marketing.
There are many disciplines within food science. You can go into consumer food science, which is more on the marketing side, consumer perception, market analysis. Food science and technology gets into more food process engineering.
And there's so many different areas you can go into with food science. I mean, microbiology, you can do that kind of testing, you can do regulatory, you can do chemistry, you can do research, you can do product development, you can work at the beginning of the process, the end of the process. Marketing, all of that stuff is all sensory, it's all food science.
Depending on what your ambition is, I think it's pretty limitless in terms of what you can become.
I look at this industry as employing individuals that have a very creative side. So from the product development and or marketing, very creative, looking for that next innovation, the next new product.
If you like to experiment with things and make people happy at the same time, then maybe confectionery is for you.
If you like to be creative, if you like to work with your hands, if you like to eat.
To be a good food scientist, you don't have to be a math whiz. You don't have to be a chemistry whiz. What's nice about food science is it's very broad, and you can choose what path you want to go down.
Well, the key thing, you definitely have to want to have fun, because this industry is just full of fun. There's work, don't get me wrong, but it's just a great industry to be in.
We're not all science nerds here. With our goggles and our chemistry tubes, it's really about working with other people. It's about learning about science, but really taking that science and being able to translate that into business.
I don't think it's all that nerdy. I mean, I'm a college athlete and I'm still in food science. I think that there's a certain nerd aspect to it. It's a lot of science, but Like I said, you have to be creative, you have to be smart, you have to be into it, but I mean, you don't have to be a nerd to be a foodie and be interested in that kind of thing.
I can't stand cooking. I'm not a foodie. However, I love the science and the art of forming something, so I think that's what helps me. But if you're a foodie and someone who just loves to cook, oh my goodness, this is like the perfect job for you.
I like the idea that the products that I create go into someone's life, and I make candy for a living, and that's something that makes people happy, so I can have a direct impact on cheering up someone's day.
Well, you look at the holidays. You know, everybody loves Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, Easter. If you look behind those holidays, candy is probably one of the most important things that is offered during those special moments.
It's really great when one of your family members says, hey, I tried this new candy and it was so good, and you're like, yep, I worked on that. I know all about that.
What I feel best about at the end of the day is if I'm able to help a customer solve a problem.
Honestly, making sure it all comes together, like literally at the end of the production line.
It's a rewarding feeling knowing that you're one part of a team of people, and it takes a whole bunch of people to get any product out to the market.
I feel proud when I go into a supermarket, even today, I'll pick up something and I'll go like, oh, I was part of that.
The most rewarding part about my job in particular is seeing the finished product on the shelf.
It is really cool to walk down the aisle and go, oh, John made that. I hope it's selling well for him. Oh, that's really cool. He's been working on that really hard. I knew that was going to be tough because, man, making those gummies do that.
It's awesome when I see a project from start to finish and our customer is happy with it, and 12 or 18 months later, we can buy that product on the store shelves and I can say I worked on that.
The people I've met have just been so generous and so nice. Really, it's a very, very open industry, the confectionery industry, and so willing to help.
Keep in touch with your professors because they will help you a long way, especially advisors. The better relationship you have with your professors, the better recommendations you get.
They will help you tremendously. Everyone here is like a big family.
It's not a cutthroat industry. Everyone works together. We all various companies, whether they're competitive or non-competitive, all work together to educate people, set up seminars.
From a mentoring standpoint for your career, we still have so much closeness between those just coming in and those who make the coolest products and have been in the industry for 30, 40, 50 years.
You know, many years that I've been in the business, I've known people from day one who are still in the business. They may not be working for the same company anymore, because I'm not, but we're still in the business. And you never know when that person can help you or you can help them.
So you never know who you'll be working with or for in the future, and it's a great industry. Everyone's extremely friendly and welcoming. It's almost like a big family.
Even that, what I tell people all the time is the food industry is really big, but it's really not. I mean, I run into people that I graduated with all of the time.
You have a tendency to run into the same people and you kind of become a family.
It's full of people that want to also teach and share the experience.
One of the things I'm most proud of is working with the co-op and internship program, because that helps bring in new students and people considering either going into food science or food engineering, and working with them to develop their skills.
I was just amazed at how everyone interacted together and everyone helps everyone out, and so then everyone helped me, which I could not thank them enough for. I mean, I owe a lot to the candy industry for bringing me to finding what I really love to do.
It's a pretty stable industry, and even I'll go as far as to say there's some built-in recession-proof.
What's nice about the food industry, I think a lot of people have called it almost recession-proof from an economic standpoint, because everybody has to eat.
The food industry is generally, a pretty strong industry. Everybody has to eat.
There's great job opportunities in the food industry, and there always will be, because people are always going to eat.
the economy goes down, candy is one of the few items that actually will increase because people will buy something to have a little bit of luxury.
When the economy gets bad, people buy more candy. When the economy is good, people buy candy.
A lot of the people in the industry now are older, and we're going to be retiring soon, and we're going to have a glut of jobs that need to be filled by competent technical people.
There are so many companies looking to hire people with food science degrees, and there aren't that many people that are graduating from food science compared to the number of jobs that are open.
I probably am aware of 15 or 20 positions on the market right now that range from senior VPs to entry-level technicians, and companies are looking to fill them and have difficulty do so.
If you know your food science and you've got a background in any of the sciences, I think it's an opportunity to get into a very sweet career.
When I tell people that I work for a candy company, they automatically assume that I eat chocolate all day, and they're correct. I do eat chocolate all day, but I do a lot more than that.
They're like, oh, that must be the funnest job in the whole world. They don't really understand it, I don't think, that someone actually has to make the candy and design the candy. But, they said, so do you get to eat it? Yes, I have to eat it every day.
First of all, they can't believe it. No one in my family even knew that a degree in food science existed until I went down that path.
When I tell them I make chocolate, when I tell them that I'm the senior manager of Chocolate Excellence, everyone says, well, that would be my dream job. How could I get to do that?
When people find out what I do for a living, they kind of chuckle a little bit at first and say, is that really a job? And then they say, how can I get that job?
I've worked at several companies, and every time I work on a different food line or beverage line, everybody's just like, wow, that's got to be the coolest job ever.
Usually they think it's the coolest job ever, and they want to hear all about it. They think that I, have a river of chocolate running through my lab.
I mean, if I tell people that I'm in the candy industry, they're like, really? That's real? But yeah, I mean, it's really cool.
A lot of the people that I work with are either food science majors or chemistry majors or chemical engineering majors.
If it's physics or chemistry or math or biology, take those classes, do well in them.
And once I get all those basically intro sciences out of the way, I get to move into food chemistry and food microbiology and food engineering.
We're always looking for interns and new people to come and learn with us and enjoy candy.
Make sure they get an internship or a co-op with a company so that they can get a semester or a year of work experience in that field to see if they enjoy what they do or not.
If you're not sure or you're more curious about what the food industry is about, finding a mentor would definitely help guide you into the path of where you want to go if you do want to go into the food industry.
Internships will help you determine what you like and what you don't like. Don't be afraid to determine what you don't like. I think that's a really important part of finding where you want to be.
A great part of my job is that I do get to travel sparingly. So a lot of the equipment manufacturers that we deal with are overseas. A lot of the confectionery equipment is made in Germany or made in Europe.
Cocoa is grown plus or minus 20 degrees of the equator. And I had an opportunity to travel to the Indonesian island, Sulawesi.
I've gone to Brazil, I've been to Guadalajara, Mexico several times.
Most of my travel has been in the United States. However, I have an opportunity to go to Germany next week, actually.
I've got to see production of what I did in the lab on a full-scale level, just as an intern, which is really cool.
Coming out of college, I never thought I would ever go to Brazil or Argentina or Europe, and I've had those opportunities to see different cultures, meet different people from across the world, and that's been real exciting for me.
It opens up a whole new world of interest that, at least for me, I never knew existed. I never wanted to travel 30 years ago. Now I can't stop traveling, and I love it. It's just incredible.
I love my job. It's a very fun job. I get to come into work and play with food, which is one of the best things to play with, I think.
It's like a piece of cake that you get to play with and also eat it at the end of the day. And, and you get paid for it. How cool can that be?
It's a fun job that I can describe to people, that people can relate to, and they love the fact that my daily job is to work with candy.
Confectionery, the candy industry is fun. It's fun. I've been in this for 25 years. The people are fun. They're like no other.
It's so exciting to me because it's very practical. It's real life.
And so I'm really enjoying research and development. I love troubleshooting formulations and trying to make process and product improvements.
Every day is different. It's challenging. I get to be creative, think outside the box.
I practically skip into work every day. I get paid to eat candy. And I get paid to make candy and eat more candy. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
If you would like more information regarding scholarships, internships, or careers in the confectionery industry, please contact any of the following associations: